He's got himself a pretty good mobile five as the NBA has changed, and he is now Serge Ibaka on the Magic. And Pat Williams is with us here. Pat, how are you? Tiki and Tierney, how you been, buddy?
I'm doing well. Nice to catch up with you. And it was a busy night. Rob Hennigan and his staff had been working on this for quite a while, and then on draft night, it all came to a head, and we hated to see Victor Oladipo go. But when you can get a 26-year-old shot blocker and rebounder and defender with some offensive ability, that's a pretty good addition to your front line. So we felt it was a positive move for us, and will strengthen us.
Now, Pat, the last time we talked to you, it seemed like the rebuild was a constant. When is it going to end? When are we going to find a way to start trying to compete in the East and win? Is that what was behind this move? You're tired of the rebuild?
Well, I don't think we're tired of the rebuild, but it's time to really start contending. We won 10 more games than a year before, which was nice progress. And I think with this move, we can play with most of the teams in the East now. I think we've really strengthened our front line. So, it's our fans have been wonderful, but it's time to step it up a notch. And this move last night, I think, is going to really make us a much more competitive ball club.
Certainly, that veteran DNA is going to be very good for you. I'm curious now, Pat. Now, when we talk about free agency, and I know that you can't mention players specifically, there's tampering rules. I get all that, but I mean, however you can dance around this, does this preclude any move from maybe trying to bring back Dwight Howard to Orlando? Because there were some rumblings. I don't know if they were unfounded, whatever. But is that door shut?
Well, it's a nice question. Let's just leave it this way. On July 1st, free agency starts. Rob Hennigan is our voice, one voice per team, and so we'll the draft is over, and now we'll see what free agency brings starting July 1, and then right after that, the summer league starts. So it's the month of July is absolutely packed. So
no, I enjoy the summer league. I've actually been to a few. I've been to the one I've been to Orlando back in the day when Tony Gonzalez was playing, I believe, for the Miami Heat, the great future Hall of Fame. I was down there for that. Tayshaun Prince was a rookie, so I'm into the summer league. All right, let me ask you this, Pat. Pat Williams, Senior VP of the Magic, with us here on Tiki and Tierney. Again, respecting the limitations, what you can and what you cannot speak to. Philosophically, conceptually, does the one singular voice that will attack free agency, does he have the ability to spend money?
Oh gosh, we heard Tom Penn all last night on television talking about the amount of money that teams have. So we'll see. There's no way to predict what's going to happen. It's all very much unknown. But on July 1 it starts, so stay tuned. It'll give you guys plenty to talk about, that's for sure.
No, I'm sure it will, especially with Frank Vogel now as your head coach, and we know his philosophies. He wants to play some small ball. I think Serge Ibaka absolutely helps you do that with the spacing and the athleticism. I thought Victor was – I know why you said you're going to miss Victor Oladipo, because he was one of those athletic spacing type guys. How is his system going to be implemented, and how has it been – so far in the limited time that he's been with the team?
Frank Vogel's made a very, very strong impression. He's a basketball lifer. He gets along very well with players. He's made a very, very nice impression. He's working now on hiring his staff, his coaching staff. But so far, Frank's been, very, very positive down here. So we're glad we've got him. He's a young veteran, knows what he's doing, and we've got a very, very nice young coach here with him.
We love Vogel. We've had him on, although he started to diss us at the end. To be honest with you there, Pat, I think he got a little tired of my barraging of questions. But we've had him on a lot. Let me ask you this, Pat. Maybe you can weigh in on this. Maybe not specific to Carmelo Anthony. but just as an overall premise, it's my opinion. And again, I love the Olympics. I love our country. There's no doubt. But when you are an aging player in the NBA and the odometer is, let's face it, the traction and the tread is there for Carmelo and some others. He's had a few surgeries on the knee. At what point does the full responsibility to whatever left in the tank go to the team that gives you over $20 million a year? I don't think Carmelo should be playing. If you had somebody who was 31 or 32, would you intervene? I don't know how much you actually can, but what would your position be on a Magic player at that age wanting to play both for the Magic and this summer?
Listen, if Jerry Colangelo and Mike Krzyzewski offer you a spot on the team, you accept it. In my opinion, unless in the case of LeBron, where he needs rest, after all that he's been through, I can understand why they would decline it. But it's a huge honor. It's a wonderful tribute when you're invited, and so I would have I would have a very hard time turning it down. And but Jerry's going to end up with 12 good players.
Oh, he always does.
Many good players. He'll have 12 good ones.
But Pat, let me ask you this: when you say you would have a hard time turning it down, I would as well if I'm a player. But that's why I positioned it. If I'm Pat Williams, the senior VP of the Magic, I think that might generate a different response because now it's not about you, but it's about the totality of the roster moving forward. No,
I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
But obviously Carmelo wants to do it. He's I think he's very proud to be invited, and it would be tough to go and say to him, Carmelo, decline it. Yeah, I think that would be tough.
Okay.
So he'll be there. He'll be down there in Brazil and representing the United States. I don't think we've seen the final roster yet.
No, we haven't.
But it'll be a good team. We've got so many good players in the NBA that, if 20 guys decline, there are 40 more good ones. So it'll be interesting to see what the club looks like.
I hear you. I have profound respect for you, but I do disagree with the Carmelo stuff, with all due respect. Pat Williams with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio.
Hey, Pat, last time we talked to you, we didn't get a chance to get to your book. You got a new book coming out. What are we reading from Pat Williams next? Because I know you're prolific in writing these things.
Well, I remember, Tiki, we had a very, very intense day that day. But the book we were talking about, it was book number 100 that I've written over 40-plus years. It's called Extreme Winning. And I have studied who we call the extreme winners in sports and life. And I've come to the conclusion, and I write about it, that there are 12 ingredients, 12 qualities that these men and women have. And so it's really been an interesting process to put the book together. Bruce Bochy of the Giants wrote the foreword for us.
Oh, I love Bochy. Great mind.
And they're, the Giants are amazing. They have a down year, and boom, immediately they come back, and they're 20 games over 500. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
But the first chapter is about extreme dreams. Every